Welcome back to CSM Today. We are here with some of the cast members from CSM's latest production, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. So, first things first, what characters did you play in this production?
I played Jadis the White Witch.
And I played Aslan.
All right, and what were those characters what were they doing in this play, rather?
Well, Jadis was the nemesis of Aslan in the show, and her whole mission throughout the show was trying to prevent Aslan from taking over Narnia.
So you're the antagonist
Absolutely.
of this play. And you?
Well, Aslan was basically not exactly the protagonist per se, like not the main protagonist. He was basically there to guide along the four children of Adam and Eve to help reclaim Narnia from Jadis the Evil White Witch.
Mm-hmm. From my understanding, you're pretty much like Lion Jesus or something like that?
Yeah, pretty much. Lion Jesus with maybe a little bit of Churchill, I don't know.
Yeah. So what was your favorite part of acting in this play?
My favorite and probably least favorite was doing my own makeup. My makeup design took me 2 hours, and I designed it. So it was a little frustrating, especially when things didn't go the way it was supposed to, and for doing makeup for 2 hours.
Is that like rough. 2 hours to come up with a concept, or 2 hours once you figured it out?
2-hour application.
That's
before
rough.
Every show. But overall, it was fun. Acting with the kids was a lot of fun. So
that's good. What about you? What was the process of looking like a lion?
Well, my makeup only took maybe 15 to 20 minutes at that. Yeah, that was the first time I've ever had makeup put on my face, by the way. It was weird.
Okay.
But yeah, it was a fun experience, sitting there motionless for a couple minutes, letting somebody put crap on my face. It was fun. And actually the makeup really brought the whole costume together, especially the mane. It really looked amazing, because without the makeup, the whole thing just looked weird.
And the mane was handmade. It was so good.
It was awesome.
I assume that wasn't makeup as well. Like you actually got a mane to look on the character's costume.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It was a nice patchwork mane.
So let's talk about just like theater in general now. So what got you into acting in the first place?
I started doing acting when I was in the 6th grade. This girl I went to middle school with was like, hey, you should come audition for this show at Port Tobacco Players. And I was like, okay, why not? So I went and auditioned for Annie, and I was up against 111 girls, and I was one of 11 to be cast, so that was pretty cool. And I've pretty much been doing it ever since then, and doing tech as well. So
just going on and off between acting and tech, like whatever you can get. Yeah, that's good. What about you?
Well, the funny thing about me is I didn't start acting until I came here.
Oh, wow. So this is very new.
Yeah, this is basically off a whim. Like, I want to say 2 years ago, during my first year here, I took an acting class, and I thought, well, okay, this is pretty fun. I might try this out. Then when I came back here about a year ago, I decided, you know what, I'll just go ahead and audition for a play. And I went in completely unprepared and somehow landed 2 roles.
2 roles. How does that work?
Well, it was 2 roles for 2 different plays, but it was a very fun experience. And getting up on the stage for the first play was something. It was certainly something.
I imagine. Yeah, that sounds like it's incredibly hard to do. Just first time here, then you get 2 different roles like in your first attempts. Like, yeah, that's.
And for the second role, I actually had to switch. They actually switched my roles up, during the play's run, or right before the play started, because somebody dropped out and I had to pick up his lines.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
That was fun.
So we'll ask you first, Mike, since you have a lot more experience or theaters to think about. What was your favorite production to be in? Mike, we'll ask you first. What's your favorite production so far?
Well, actually...
Oh, not Mike. I'm sorry.
It's all good, dude. Honestly, it would have to be a tie between my first time, the first play I was ever in, and The Walls, which was a play I didn't have that big of a role in, but I just really enjoyed the experience of that entire play.
Oh, yeah.
The story was really good for that one.
All right. You guys some time to think about it?
Yeah,
your 10 years of acting?
Right. Honestly, it's The Walls, hands down. That just really allowed me to develop a character the way that I wanted to, which was a lot of fun. And it really taught myself a lot about acting, as well as learned a lot from the people that I was in the show with. So it was a really cool experience.
Yeah. So do you guys see yourself doing this more in the future? Any sort of like professional careers? Or is this definitely like a fun thing for now? Like, what do you guys think?
If I can actually become a professional actor, I would certainly love that. But I might just look into doing lighting. But I will try and pursue the acting route for as long as I can.
I'll help you make it, man.
Yeah, you and me both.
I'm looking more towards a technical career in theater. I do acting for fun, but I get a lot more joy out of doing tech theater, out of building and doing lights, all that kind of stuff. But I've had a couple of job offers here and there, but we'll see what happens.
Where would you go if you wanted to work professionally then? Like, who's offering you a job for what?
Well, the first job offer I got was actually for Carnival Cruise Lines, basically being their stage manager of the entire ship, which sounded really intimidating.
Oh.
And then I'm actually going to school in Las Vegas, and I'm going out there in January, and I kind of have ties with their person that's in charge of internships. So I'm hoping to talk to her and get myself an internship for next summer, but we'll see.
All right, good luck for that.
Yeah, thank you.
What about you, Gershawn?
Me, myself, I'm probably just going to go to a four-year university. Like Frank said, he was looking at Catawba. That's actually one of the schools that's on my list of schools to look at. It all really just boils down to what I can get money for and where would be the best option. What place would be able to give me financial aid and such. But as long as I can do the theater work at that school, I'm happy.
All right, yeah. So just whatever you can do, like either if it's acting or lighting, like that's
As long as I'm still associated with theater in some way, shape, or form, I think I'll be all right.
Yeah, that's really good. It's actually really surprising that it seems like you're like a real character when it comes down to it. But you've only been acting since you came to CSM.
I know, it's weird, right?
Has it always been like a thing for you, or has like you always been like a character rather?
Actually, yeah. And you know what's weird? I never wanted to do acting up until now because I thought I'd have like wicked bad stage fright. I am horrible with speaking in front of people, as you can obviously tell. But
You're not rambling too much. It's okay.
but yeah, it was just about a matter of coming out of my shell and trying something different. And lo and behold, I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely hit the ground running. Like a lot of us, we're always really surprised when we have new talent that comes in that are amazing. And Gershawn was one of those people that came in and was like, "I'm here. I'm ready to do this." We're like, "Okay, great."
So like that skill of like coming into different actors that you have to and characters that you are given, is that like important for acting? Like different characters that you're assigned and you
Oh, absolutely.
yeah.
Trying to get into that character's head and trying to get into that mindset, so that you can become that character is definitely challenging, especially when you're starting out. Like last year or the year before, whenever we did the walls, that was probably the most challenging experience I ever had forming a character. But it was great to pull like emotional recall and stuff like that. Now for this show with Jadis the White Witch, since she was more of a fantastical character, it was a little bit harder to pull some real life experience into becoming that character, but it came a little too naturally.
I would say it is pretty important to be able to switch characters on the fly, especially with my first show, my first time. I actually had to be like several different people because it was basically a collection of monologues and excerpts from people's sexual experiences, basically.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Your first show?
That's my first play.
Wow. Okay.
That was fun. But yeah, I actually had to be like several different people, switch them on the fly, and just embody that person in that moment, basically.
Sounds like you two have a lot of like experiences regarding that.
Yeah, well.
All right. Well, thank you two so much for coming in today.
Thank you for having
Absolutely, thank
us.
you.
Yeah. And we'll be right back with more members from our CSM theater.